book is Harry Potter.
For me, my favourite book is actually a book series. It's called A Series of Unfortunate Events, a story about perseverance of 3 children.
My class are reading a book called Varjak Poor.
My favourite book is Carve the Mark by Victoria Rona.
My favourite book is the Young Samurai series. There's friendships, there's hate, and how the story shows that you can still find love for people even if you feel like an outcast.
This is El Defa. It's basically about this girl who one day gets really sick, and then she turns deaf, and she has to face all these things in her life that a deaf person faces. It shows how inspirational she is.
My favourite book is The Virgin Suicides, which is an outside narrative of the tragedy of the Lisbon sisters, and it also reflects how women are mistreated in society.
My favourite book is Do You See Me? And I really like it because it shows people with autism and it makes people more aware of what's happening.
The book that I have is Dork Diaries. It's called Dear Dork.
My favourite manga is One Piece, and my favourite book is Ruby Red Fort.
Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I think that if you're looking for a charismatic yet very youthful and jovial book with tons of adventure and heartbreaks, Percy Jackson is a good book for you.
I like Gladiator by Simon Scarrow.
My favourite book is Once Upon a Heart by Stephanie Garber. From the beginning to the end, it genuinely had me really hooked.
My book is Carrie's War. This book is called How to Train Your Dragon.
My favourite book is Kerry Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's also a book about perseverance. This woman who goes through being the best in the world, she decides that actually I want to come back and get my title, and she goes against all odds. And I think it teaches you to be perseverant and put your mind to anything you have to do. It reignited my love for reading.
I like Glitter Red Riding Hood because I read it a lot. My favourite book is The Nasty Bus.
My favourite book is The Bell Jar because of the female perspective, and I think that the writing is really beautiful.
The Twisted series, and basically they are 4 sisterhood, and they meet 4 brothers as well. It really embodies sisterhood and brotherhood at the same time, and then them coming together to make a whole group.
My favourite book is Alex Rider.
My favourite book is Tom Gates because I really like the drawings because it inspired me to draw.
My favourite book was Dogman, Famous 5. It also tells you how to have friends and be a team easily.
My favourite book is Agent 21.
I'd really recommend Chinese Cinderella. It's relatable to other people and it shows the brutal reality and not everything can be a fairy tale and fantasy.
My favourite book is called Before the Coffee Gets Cold, and it's about a Japanese cafe where you can go and you can go back in time and revisit a memory. More to help people gain closure. It doesn't help you change the past, but it's to help you understand why things happen, and I think that's a really beautiful idea.
My book is called What the Ladybird Had.
I'm reading The Slime from David Walliams.
I'm reading The Peanut Jones at the 12 Portals. I'm reading Space Boy.
My favourite book is The First Judy Moody.
Well, this book here is called Dogman.
My favourite book is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. My favourite book is Fear by Michael Grant.
This is Sky Song. It's the book that we're currently reading in Year 6. It revolves around freedom and not fitting in. To me, reading's a portal or gateway to discovering not only a new version of yourself, but something that you yearn for, something that you seek. It could lead you up to somewhere where you're at a lower point in life and you could find yourself at the highest, most happiest time for you.
I think I like reading because it's kind of when you read, it kind of takes you into a different world if you're reading a fantasy book, or if you're reading a detective book that's in first person, then you can think that you are detective or something. It transports you into a different world.
I think everyone should read because it helps you understand the world around you from a perspective of if you were to read something that you wouldn't understand before, now you understand it in the real world because you've seen it from the book's perspective.
It helps you in education, and if you don't read, then it will become harder
for you to learn to read properly.
I personally think that everyone should read because you read every day. You don't realise it, but you sit in a classroom, you're looking at a PowerPoint, you're reading. You walk past something, you see a poster, you're reading. And I feel like everyone should read because you're submerging yourself into a whole different world.
Even Cinderella, a story many people have heard of, have different variations in different books.
It just helps you escape like reality, and it helps you get a better catch of yourself.
It helps you be a more well-rounded person. Through storylines, you get different perspectives of people's different lives, you learn about different things, it improves your literacy, and I think that's just really important, especially in our modern day, where we're trying to learn to be more inclusive and promote equality. We should learn about different perspectives, and books are a great way to do that.
I think, again, about the different perspectives, because you get to live someone else's life and see someone else's like view of life without having to leave the comfort of your home. And it also, you get to like expand your imagination, and you have something to connect over friends with, talk about books and things like that.
I like to read because it is fun, and I like to read different stories.
It's very important for you to read as it could immerse you into a world full of wonders. It can be something as simple as a magician taking a hat out of a rabbit, not a rabbit out of a hat.
It's important to read because we learn new words.
Sometimes for like some people, when they're worried, they like to read, and it would help them a lot with feelings. It also helps if you find like a really relatable book, because then you can like get tips from the book.
I believe that people who read become so much like their lives become more interesting, because it helps them embody the ideas of the books in their everyday lives. And I think it helps you like truly appreciate the beauty of life and what goes on.
It makes me feel like I'm in my own little world, and the description helps you with your different things like speaking and stuff.
I think in life there's a door that you have to go through, and books is a key to that door.
Well, I like reading because it takes me on an adventure, and it's like really interesting.
It makes you be more relaxed when you sometimes you're stressed.
If you're struggling with something or have a strong emotion, you can just delve into a book and find a whole new world.
Scientists have proven people who read are more likely to live longer than people who haven't, and also when you get lost in that world, you're able to do more stuff than you ever thought you could do.
I feel like it's like the fundamental base for whatever you want to do.
It unlocks your creativity because you understand the plot, how story works, and also it allows you to be more creative with it if you want to make your own story in your own free time.
I love reading because it's kind of a place for me to go whenever I'm kind of when I'm sad or annoyed or I'm having some kind of problem. It kind of just allows me to calm down, and I think it's something that whenever I'm bored, it finds me well.
It's kind of a form of escapism. It allows you to take a break from real life.
And to add on to that, George Martin stated that someone who reads lives 1,000 lives before he dies, and a man who never reads only lives once.